Hi, I'm Claire and I'm a pelvic health physiotherapist, and this is Lulu, one of our postnatal trainers. Today we're going to go through posture. So we're going to talk about it on me. So I'm 17 weeks pregnant, so my posture's starting to change. We're then going to look at Lulu, who's a mum of 2, and look at how her posture has changed and what things she's still having to work on, and give you some tips to help you in your postnatal recovery.
Right, so if we get Claire to stand side on, we'll just talk through what's happening as you reach the halfway mark, nearly there. So as bump grows, typically what's happening is the weight within the uterus is then going to pull your pelvis, your entire pelvis, into a forward tilt. It's literally pulling your center of gravity in front of you. So you end up being very quad dominant because your weight tends to be in the ball of your feet rather than your heels, just because that bump is growing outwards. Okay, so as a result of that pelvis tipping forward, as we can kind of see in Claire with a little bump there, this lower back is obviously arching a little bit. In order for your body to balance itself out, it very cleverly will make very subtle adjustments to your upper body, slowly and surely, day by day. So it's going to round the upper body and you kind of sit back into that upper body in order to keep yourself balanced. Because if we just let that weight pull us forward, we'd literally end up toppling over. So to stop that, your body cleverly just makes a few adjustments. But as those adjustments go on day by day, we can end up in quite what's called a kyphotic posture. So really rounded, hunched posture as well. When our boobs are growing, that's going to hold you in that rounded upper body shape as well.
Great, so now I'm going to show you on Lulu how that carries on postnatally. So postnatally, it's really common to remain in that forward tilt of the pelvis with the upper back further back, and we call this a sway back posture. There are small things that you can do in your everyday life to help with improving your posture, like when you're pushing the buggy or carrying your baby. So the things we want you to think about are your rib cage over your pelvis and in line with your pubic bone, which is at the front here. Okay, Lulu's just going to demonstrate that again. It's very small and subtle. It's not a big tensioning movement, but just gently thinking about softening the ribs over the pelvis and down to the pubic bone. And what she's going to think with her shoulder blades is just thinking about her shoulder blades coming back and down. Because when we're feeding, especially if we're breastfeeding, our shoulders can really round forwards. So just gently thinking about melting your shoulder blades down the back can really help with your upper back posture. We're going to briefly talk now about sitting posture. A lot of early motherhood involves a lot of sitting down with our little one, feeding, whether you bottle or breastfeed. So what Lulu's demonstrating here is we can end up in that position with our neck down. And lots of women I see have a lot of pain in their neck, their chin's quite far forward, and they've got that rounded shoulder. Small things. Obviously we have to feed and we have to be sitting down. But what we can do is if we just get a rolled up towel, we can place it in Lulu's back, and that will help her just improve the curve in her lower back, which naturally, as you can see, improves her upper back posture. With the minute she slumps down in her lower back, the shoulders round, okay? We really recommend that you have the baby on a feeding pillow so it's nicely supported. So this, combined with the towel in the lower back, as you can see, immediately improves Lulu's posture and can really help you if you're experiencing any neck pain or shoulder pain whilst feeding. We're now going to show you some exercises that can help improve your postnatal posture. The first of these is called rib closure. So Lulu's going to rest her hands by her side. She's going to think about her pelvic floor activation, which is think about holding wind and holding urine, and then her deep abdominals where she's got magnets drawing together. And then she's going to take her arms above her head. And what we're thinking about here is the ribs not lifting, like so. So we're keeping them nice and relaxed down into the mat. She's going to do this on the exhale breath. She's going to demo again. She's done pelvic floor, deep abdominals as she takes the arms up, and she's keeping this nice and controlled. The next exercise is pelvic tilts. This is a very subtle little movement. It's a posterior tilt into the mat. So you can still do your pelvic floor and deep abdominal activation, and on the exhale you just soften your back into the mat and then relax it back to what we would call neutral, so where your pelvis is level. So then very small movement, exhale, take the pelvis back and then relax to neutral. The next exercise is a glute bridge. So it's important to think about our foot position here. So Lulu's trying to almost tickle her heels with her hands. They should be close enough that you can touch your heel. We want about a fist width between the knees so they're not too far, not too close together. And she's going to gently activate pelvic floor, deep abdominals, tilt the pelvis back and lift up. The key here is to not lift too high, which Lulu's going to demonstrate now. Postnatally, that will feel quite comfortable as everything here is long, but we want to keep it nice and level. So think about between your ribs and your knees being a straight line. The next exercise is called shoulder setting. So this is where we were talking about in our posture video, thinking about relaxing our shoulder blades down, and this exercise can help you to get in touch with that. So what Lulu's going to think about is her head position. Think about her ears coming away from her shoulders, and then just gently think about drawing the shoulder blades together like she's melting them down the back and then pushing away into the floor so they're coming slightly further apart. And again, drawing them down and together. So you should feel this down here between the shoulder blades and not up towards the neck. Brilliant. And then she's going to draw them just down very gently, thinking about the activation being down here. The next exercise is called thread the needle. And this focus is on stiffness in the upper back, which is very, very common during motherhood. Think about this gap here being the eye of the needle. And your arm is your thread. So Lulu's now going to take her arm through the eye of the needle, focusing on rotation. Now what we can see here is that Lulu's hips are slightly shifting to one side, and that just shows different areas of tension. What we want to do is think about keeping your hips and your pelvis completely level as your arm rotates through, and then you can bring the arm all the way through and reach up towards the ceiling. Again, focusing on what's happening at the hips here, keeping it neutral. So that might mean that you can't reach your arm very far. That's okay. We need to keep the pelvis stable and just get the movement that we can in that upper back. As you do more movements, and if you do these daily, even if it's 5 to 10, you'll start to feel the upper back is more freer. That will help with any neck pain, can help with lower back pain, and will help you in your posture recovery. With all these exercises, we recommend that you do about 8 to 10 of these every day. You might feel you can do more, but just remember, the focus is on the quality of the movement, not the quantity. So just do what you feel able and think about all the points that we've talked about. Thanks for watching, guys. I've created a whole series of postnatal videos for you to help you in your recovery. For more information, check out the Fiit app and the postnatal plan.